Abundant blessings, good people. It's your brother K. Today is definitely a great day to have a great day. Welcome to 9-9. We're at 9-9, the ninth day in the ninth month. Coincidentally, Sept is 7, right? Bit confusing. One of the few, if not the last person in my neighborhood. Those neighbors are gone, those neighbors are gone, those neighbors are gone, those neighbors are gone, those neighbors are gone. I'm holding down the fort. If you haven't heard, what a fitting time, but there is an actual fire going on here in Southern California. Call it the line fire. I'm sitting here on a burning line of fire. I know I have a purpose. I know I have a destiny. I know ain't nothing gonna happen to me or my environment until I fulfill what I manifested here, what I incarnated here to do. I want to send a deep, deep, deep thank you to all the people who've been praying for me, praying for our neighborhood, praying for our community here on the mountain. This line fire is quite a trip. As you can see, I'm outside recording this. This is probably the first moment in the last 3 or 4 days that the air's seemed cool enough to be outside, to actually breathe. I mean, it still has that chimney smell. So no doubt, I don't want to be doing this a long time. So what are we talking about? We're talking about ELEVATED9. ELEVATED9.com is a site that I've built, releasing that today. Man, the journey here has been incredible. To go from the end of, say, 2022, and we had the Snowmageddon. You know, we had 14-foot walls of snow, houses crumbling, explosions in the neighborhood from pipes and gas mains blowing up. I mean, it was pretty intense. Dozens and dozens of people died. All of that for insurance to do nothing. There's no one that came to save us. We had the gentleman that plows our roads lives right down there. If not for him, everyone here would have been stuck indefinitely. Who knows how many more people would have died. There was people coming together, people doing for self, people looking out for each other. Some people just took care of their own, and some people made sure what we call our own is all of us. And some people have a sense of connection to all things, and that's why we're here. That's what this is all about. Born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, East Baton Rouge. Y'all know you know. From the south to the Bay and down to LA, and now from LA up to the mountains to Little LA, Lake Arrowhead. I've had quite the journey, man. There's so many people like you who are confused by the world that we're in right now. Maybe you're like me, and you've been alive in 2 different centuries and 2 different millennia. You grew up before there was microwaves in every house, before everybody had a TV in every house, before people had a phone on their hips, before there was even an internet, back when we were playing Oregon Trail and Carmen Sandiego. That was our first introductions to a computer. Maybe you're like me, and you're noticing that people have just gotten caught up in this world of illusions, that there's lies everywhere, there's deception everywhere. And particularly coming out of the COVID, it just exacerbated how isolated, how anxious, how disconnected people feel, even from the people in their own household. Maybe you're like me, and you've seen burn victims. Maybe you're like me, and you've talked to families of folks who've committed suicide. Maybe you're like me, and you've seen how bad it could be. Maybe you've been kidnapped and thrown in the back of a truck. Maybe you've been jumped a few times, had a bottle broken over your head once or twice. Had some face trauma that's left some marks and some scars on you that remind you of how quick this thing can go. Perhaps you're like me, and you've stepped out on your wife, and you've done some foul things in your life, and you've grown and you've learned. Or maybe you're not like me, and you haven't learned a fucking thing. Whatever side of the fence you are, I'm a friend to anyone who's seeking a friend. I have an incredible curiosity. Just a little bit of my story. In my 20s, I was told that there was something going on in my heart. Kept in Kaiser for a couple weeks. In my 30s, I was told there was something going on in my brain and they need to cut open my mouth and go up in there and take this thing out or it'll kill me by 2018. Well, it's 2024, almost 2025, but still bouncing around, never had a surgery. How is that possible? I give thanks. There was a collection of people. There's a collection of knowledge and information that existed in the world. There were established institutions, and there were people around me who had connections to those things that connected me to the methodologies that have led me to the place I'm at. I connected with that tree 11 years ago. Yeah, 11 years ago. And that's where I learned how to meditate. Wasn't going to a guru, wasn't going to a retreat. I literally was talking to that tree. And I sat down under that tree and tapped into something within myself. It seems like it might be out there, but it's closer than my nose and my eyes. Right under that tree. Today, after the various things I've been through, the various lessons I've learned, working in healthcare, working in sales, working in education, working as a street pharmaceutical rep, working on the block, as well as working in the classroom and working in my innerverse. I have a deep belief that everything is connected into how the branches and the roots all tie into each other. And though we may not all see it, we're all breathing the same air. And we're all living through the same light and energy. And we're all walking, sleeping, and dwelling on the same earth. And we're all drinking the same water. And we all have an opportunity, to build heaven right here. And that's what ELEVATED9 is. I'm not a guru. I read a lot. Well, I read a decent amount for what they say the average American is reading. They say 40% illiteracy rate here in America these days. They say the average attention span is about 8 seconds. It's about the attention span of a lobster or a bug. I might be a little bit above average in those regards. But I got 2 legs just like you. I got 2 hands. I got 2 eyes. Some people may have less. I have a brain. I have a heart. I have fears and desires. I have joys and I have pains, just like you. And what I'm here to do is to be a friend to everyone who's seeking a friend. Whoever you are. I've gotten over my fears, gotten over myself. I'm real great in a room, in person. The camera thing was my upbringing. This is just something you didn't do. Taking pictures, writing down things, keeping records that could trace back to you was something that you would avoid. In my present state, having a high level of accountability is something I run to. Gaining more responsibility is something I run to. And though I don't expect this thing to blow up and be a viral type of a thing or whatnot, I do expect to deliver to you the love, insights, tips, techniques, and just connection, an opportunity to connect. There's fire trucks, emergency trucks, helicopters flying over to deliver water. You hear the birds out here banging on the territory. Something about the way I look, something about the way I talk, something about my story, and something about the unique perspective that I'm gonna offer and that I offer that connects with you, that resonates with something deep within you. And I know you will take action. I know you will take action on transforming yourself and transforming your environment and transforming your families and transforming your communities. And I'm 100% certain, I am certain that the more individuals that follow this path, that take it upon ourselves to be the best we can be, to be the most patient, the most loving, the most intelligent, the most aware, the most insightful, the most dedicated we can be, the broader and the better and the quicker our chances arise of bringing peace to this world. Those of you guys that are frustrated about encampments and homeless people on the street, those of you guys that might be frustrated about individuals being bombed, communities being completely exploited and raped right now, individuals and entities intentionally causing destruction, like setting fires, burning down communities so that others may be able to come in and buy up, may be able to profit on the pain of others. Those of you who are intimately interested in not only preventing these dark things, shooting of children in schools, preventing the suffering of our elders whose children have abandoned them because of childhood traumas and things they heard on the internet and things that they feel they can't get over. Those of you who see the benefit in bringing the elders and the children together, and the folks on our level, my generation, they call the middle-aged, or I'll call the middle children of history, us middle children of history, not in the sense of misfits, but in the sense of being bridges between what was and what is to come. Those of you who will choose to step up as those bridges and join with me to build stronger and more firm, wider, more accessible bridges for there to be traffic back and forth and there to be connection across generations and across this world. Type in EnterElevation9 at gmail.com. That's where you can email me. TikTok will be EnterElevation9. Instagram will be EnterElevation9. The website is ELEVATED9, from the philosophy of actuality. Language that is conscious determines itself immediately. So we're not in the process of elevating. We're not trying. We're being over here on this side. So as the sun rises through the smoke and the haze, and I hear more choppers coming to drop more water on this line fire, the type of man who's committed enough to stand his ground in the middle of a snowstorm and stand his ground in the middle of a blazing inferno, stand his ground when there's an attack on his heart, and stand his ground when there's something destroying his brain from the inside, and to connect with the necessary entities and elements to live a life that will overcome. Not anything special in the sense of being different from you. I'm special in that I know myself. I have tapped into myself, and I've chosen to be empowered, to be luminous, to be exuberant and virtuous, to be ever so appreciative. Gratitude is the key, kids. To be thriving, to be exceptional, a very exceptional self, and to walk in the divinity that is coming to us all. Some of us have just forgotten about it. Many of us are being distracted from it. But that 9 continues to swirl up and up and up into higher and new levels. Better and better, baby. And best and better to you. Get with you soon.